Hello. Is someone there? Can you hear me? My name is Amako B, aka Twinklepecky, and this is Comments Banter with Twinklepecky. You're on the right channel, guys. This is actually my first video on this channel. I know the conventional thing YouTubers do is to first of all introduce themselves and what their channels are all about. But for some reason, I have decided that I won't go the conventional way, and that video, which we all know should be the first, will come up next. But for now, this video is inspired by a story narrated by Bianca Ojukwu. It's actually a real life story, something I feel that we all should learn a lot from. I have already read the story. I love the content, and yes, that is the reason why I am inspired to make this video today. And stay tuned, guys. We will be right back. My Wedding Cake by Bianca Ojukwu, published on November 19, 2022. I read. In My Wedding Cake, Bianca Ojukwu recalls a snobbish woman who missed an opportunity to use her wedding to boost her business. Each time I see this picture, referring to the picture of her wedding cake, the rather funny but sad story of this wedding cake on the left comes to mind. I was told by a good friend during my wedding preparations that there was a lady based at Enugu that makes great wedding cakes. In fact, my friend, though not familiar with the lady, offered to take me to her. Dressed rather casually, I decided to pack my own misties and join my friend in her own car. A cute-looking but modest Volkswagen, known as Beetle in those days. She drove us to the cake maker's place. Upon our arrival, the popular cake maker, whose name I withhold for obvious reasons, totally oblivious of my identity, took one derisive look at the car we arrived in and was not impressed. I told her I needed her to make my wedding cake, and she started coming up with all manner of excuses. First, she told me her cakes were very expensive and I definitely would not be able to afford it at 25,000 naira in those days, and offered to direct me to a cheaper cake place, stressing that she only makes cakes for important personalities, even going ahead to drop names such as one Union Bank manager, one boutique owner, etc., who in her estimation were dignitaries. I told her that I could manage to afford it. She said that I would have to pay for her transportation to Abuja to mount the cake, and that since she only travels by air, not road, this added cost would be difficult for me to carry, to which I replied that I would pay. She raised the issue of hotel accommodation, which I assured her would be taken care of. My friend kept nudging me and whispering in my ear, "Tell this woman who you are, so she can put a stop to these nonsense questions," to which I replied no. I was secretly amused, albeit perplexed at the moment about human nature and social climbers, which by her attitude, this lady clearly was. What I found surprising was that the lady herself was definitely not well off. Her own car was an old Corolla, her surroundings not plush, and she was merely one of those I must belong by all means type of people. Yet she had the temerity to look down on others she considered not rich. To cut a long story short, still not convinced that I could afford her services, judging by the casual dressing and the modest ride, which was not even mine, meaning I probably had no vehicle of my own. She briskly discharged us both, telling me to drop my number and that she would call me. I dropped my number with her under my Igbo name, Odinaka, and we left. Odinaka means is in the hands. It can actually mean in the hands of man or in the hands of God. But in this context, I presume it means Odinaka Chukwu. That means in the hands of God. I never heard from her again. I simply took up a generous offer from the Canadian chef at the Newcon Hilton Abuja then, who was a master baker. My gigantic multi-tied wedding cake was made at no cost at all, simply as PR to market and advertise the hotel's services. One day, just a week to the wedding, the Enugu-based cake maker saw the television broadcast of our impending wedding, which was a big event at that time, and realized it was me who had come to her place for a wedding cake. She flew into a panic and quickly managed to find her way to my house and started begging with all the kinds of bland explanations, asking why I didn't introduce myself appropriately. Did you hear that? What the gods? By which she meant as a VIP, of course, and even offering to make the cake free of charge. Wow! But it was too late, definitely. On this day, a beautiful breezy day in November 1994, it was a memorable wedding ceremony at the Newcon Hilton, today's Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. The first wedding event ever hosted there, and it was a grand. This life-size multi-step cake seen in this picture, much bigger and more lavish than any conceivable one the Enugu cake maker could ever have offered, was donated by the management of the Hilton. The Enugu-based cake maker lost a great opportunity to showcase her skills and her product since the event was telecast across the country on TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, and every conceivable news medium, with the Hilton master baker taking the cake credit. This advertisement masterstroke greatly boosted the Hilton event hosting business and facilitated countless more weddings at the same Congress Hall at Hilton. Last I heard, the Enugu cake maker's business has since folded after she faced some difficulties in her business several years ago. Moral of this true life experience is, never judge a book by its cover. We are all human beings, rated equally before God, if not before man, regardless of our status in life. The tragedy of our time is that so many go through this sort of scenario on a daily basis, but sadly with a different outcome. I could shrug this cake maker's attitude off, being myself, a person of means relating incognito, knowing that she could not even scratch the surface of my net worth, and that I was possibly doing her a favor by opting for her services because of the significant publicity it will bring her. But what of my friend in whose car we drove there, who was a modest earner, living within her means, and who, it became clear, goes through this disdain on a regular basis from these types of social climbing crafts? When did it become an offense to own or drive a Beetle? The truth is that so many folks are this way inclined, and it is downright despicable. We must never relate to others based solely on who or what they are, what they have, what car they ride, or how expensively or poorly they are dressed. Every day, people lose opportunities to forge valuable ties and lose long-lasting friendships because of their snobbish outlook. And best of all, when one door closes, another greater one will open by divine mercies. I lost a molehill, but gained a mountain. Happy wedding anniversary to me and Ogam, Dim Odumegu Ojukwu. What a story. Is indeed very touching. Imagine being disgraced like this by someone who thinks that she is better than you. It actually hurts when people treat people with so much disdain, especially when it is your first time meeting that person. It's bad to judge a book by its cover. We cannot be judged by our looks or by the way we present ourselves or by the kind of car that we drive. It's actually a bad thing. Be that as it may, this is a reason why I said that I'm going to use this to launch my YouTube channel. It is my desire that this channel will inspire and encourage someone, and this story is one story that any wise man, any prudent man will absorb, take it in, and find a way, no matter how difficult it is, to squeeze it in their daily lives and cast a change in the way they reason and in the way they see things. But I have an advice before I leave. In life, nothing is more expensive than a lost opportunity and lost possibilities. It's a feeling that we can never get back. A pessimistic person always sees difficulties in everything, while an optimistic person sees opportunities. And it is proven that when good opportunities are seen or are presented, they are easily lost by a man with no good judgment. Get rid of arrogance from your heart. Don't ever feel the need to look down on people for any reason at all. Not for anything that the Almighty has given you. Either your wealth, the power you hold, your good looks, the kind of class you think that you've attended. Always remember that God in heaven, who gave you all of this, has the power and the might to take away your blessing in a second. Listen, you can throw a seed away, but you can never ever stop it from growing into a tree. You know why? You are not the creator. You are not the maker. I know a lot of people have experienced this in one way or the other, just like Our Lady said. And one thing I love about what she did was the fact that even while the friend was nudging her to reveal who she is, she did not listen to her. You know the reason. It is not necessary to always explain yourself, especially to fools. It is best to allow people's fury to rest on their faces. I don't know why some people think it's okay to look down on people. I don't know why. People of lower class, I will call it people of lower class, although we are all of high class, understand me. But people who apparently or presumably you are better than are people that always look down on you. I don't understand the reasons why people do such things. It's actually disheartening, to say the least. And to top it all is the fact that people think that they, by looking at you, can tell who you are. Although I cannot say appearance don't matter, but it is not a conclusion of someone's life. We have people like Mark Zuckerberg, always putting on the same kind of clothes. Does that make him poor? No. And this kind of perception is so rampant in Africa. We love bling bling. We love I belong so much. And if you look at the rate of crime in Nigeria, it is because of this bling bling and I want to belong that there is high rate of crime in Nigeria. People want to make money at a very tender age. We have read news of teenagers from the age of 12 to 16 saying that they want to leave their parents' houses to go and make money. And when asked what kind of money, they say Yahoo Yahoo. The quest for money and power has eaten deep in our system, and it's because of people like this lady, this Enugu cake maker, devaluing, demeaning, underrating people in such a manner. That is why I said a pessimistic person always sees difficulties in everything, while an optimistic person sees opportunities in everything. It is also a proven fact that when good opportunities are seldom presented, they are easily lost by a man with no good judgment. You can imagine being nudged by a friend to reveal yourself. Till I come your way next time, it is me, it is I, Amaka Obi, aka Twinklepecky, and this is the Comments Banter. See you next time. Love you. Bye bye.